Do you want a collaborative meeting? One that's going to be quite productive? Well, there's one key question to ask yourself. Who should attend my meeting? Today we're going to look at how we can provide the conditions for a collaborative meeting. We're also going to see how we can invite these people we require along to our meeting. So let's get into it. When it comes to collaborative meetings, there's a few things that you need to consider. You want to have only a few people in the meeting room. We're going to see why that's important soon. And the other thing, we want to have the right people in the room. So as we think about a few people in the room, think about large meetings and how difficult it is to be productive. Too many people in the room, and it tends to be that the meeting breaks up into smaller groups as people start to discuss things and they want to feel heard. Or the meeting can also be more often taken over by dominant personalities. They are talking between themselves and the rest are either just listening or not even contributing at all. However, with smaller meetings, everyone gets a chance to be heard. If there's any miscommunication and things that need to be ironed out or refined, then that's far easier to do with smaller number of people. And there's less cognitive load. You know, when you've got a full-on meeting, everyone around the table, and you feel like you've got to engage, and this is often why people do start to tune out or just listen in these larger meetings. Smaller meetings, less cognitive load. So what's the optimal size for a meeting? Well, Robert Sutton from Harvard Business Review has said, and among other studies too, that 7 or less in a meeting is the optimum number. And this is because it allows people to form those connections and get really collaborative. So who do you want along to this meeting? A subject matter expert or two, perhaps? Definitely. You should have a success owner, basically someone who's going to make this thing happen. Because you can have ideas, but then you also need someone to actually organize this and execute on that. You also might want to have a couple of people along who are going to be open to give their feedback. They're people who are quite happy to share their opinions, and because it's a smaller environment, then they're definitely going to be heard. Now the side benefit too, important benefit of smaller meetings is that they're easier to facilitate and to coordinate. So getting the smaller number of people together, finding the optimal time for 7 or less people to get in the room is far easier than just putting a meeting date out there and saying, hey, everyone can come along and just try your best to come along. So let's return to the meeting invite that we were creating in our last video, and this was Patty Fernandez. She was pulling together a meeting for reviewing the Mark 8 drone features, and so it's really important for her to get the right people in the room. And we're looking again at Patty's calendar at this stage, and it's in the Outlook for Web experience. Let's go back into our meeting and we'll get into editing that meeting. Now, key thing here, you could adjust some of these additional details, but to be able to invite people, then you want to go back into more options. So this is a meeting that we've saved. We haven't yet finished off the details. We've got our agenda and all the details there that we talked about in our last video. Now we're looking at inviting attendees. And the key thing that people need to realize is when you're inviting people, these people that you're acquiring, that you want to make sure you use the scheduling assistant. I've been invited to too many meetings, even one-on-ones, where people have not even checked to see if I'm available, and they haven't tried to look at what is coming up in my calendar and given me a bit of space to be able to attend meetings and get work done. So let's take a look at the inviting attendees. We're going to invite Megan Bowen, because she's definitely one of the experts on the team, and we'll also invite Isaiah. Now, as we're doing that in Outlook Web Access or Outlook on the web, we start to see the availability of people on the far right hand side. You see there that Megan is definitely not available, Isaiah is, and you can see blocks of time there where it looks like Megan's got quite a busy calendar. So how do we try and find the optimal time? Within Outlook on the web, we have a couple of options. I could just drag this time block around and try and find somewhere that's going to fit for everyone. So here we go, we've found a time. I've also got some suggested times that are along the top there. There's 9:30 to 10, which seems that's the one that we've landed on, but I could jump ahead to Wednesday, and it looks like that all three of us are available at 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. So if I jump there, then you can see that all three people are available to attend that meeting. Now, what if you were creating this meeting in Microsoft Teams? We're going to have a look at that experience now. All right, so we have Microsoft Teams, we've got our calendar view, and this view is likely to be upgraded and changed soon, so so keep a watch out for that. The same meeting that we've got here, let's click up the meeting. At this stage we haven't added any people to the meeting invite, let's edit that. And we're now into creating this meeting and inviting people, so let's invite the same people, Megan and Isaiah. All right, so at the moment we can see, because we didn't save the meeting invite earlier, same conditions, Megan's busy, Isaiah's free, and we've got some suggested times there. So there's the same suggested times that we could choose. We could go 8:30 to 9:30, or we could choose 9 till 10. But what we can do is go through to the scheduling assistant. And this is the key thing that I want people to understand when you're booking people's time and you're being respectful of the other work that they have on as well, is that you look at people's calendar, you can say, well, where is it that we can choose which would be the best time that's not back-to-back meetings necessarily, and giving them some space. So if we click on through, we can see, there we go, that people are free there, all there as well. And it's pretty easy to cast your eye down, especially if you've got a small, optimal sized collaborative meeting of 7 or less, that you can cast your eye down there and see, are the required people available to attend my meeting? One other place that we'll have a look at this too is in Outlook on the mobile, the mobile app, so let's have a look at that. Okay, so we're back into Paddy's calendar here on Outlook on an iPhone, and we can see the same meeting, and we'll go into edit this meeting. Okay, so I'm going to invite people, and we've got some suggested people there, so this is a smart feature too, that the app and the services behind that know some of the people that I coordinate with and communicate with often. But we're going to find Megan, and we'll also find Isaiah. There we go. So we've added them both, but again, it looks like there's no availability there. We can't get everyone into the meeting. So if we tap into that time where you can see the little red icon there, we can see a very similar experience to what we saw in Outlook on the web, the people that are unavailable. And so this is where we can drag that appointment up there and find an optimal time that all three of us can attend. Note, one of the things I recommend too is giving at least 15 minutes in between each meeting, because sometimes they run over time, but it also gives people time to just do a little bit of mental preparation before they get into that meeting. So that's the Outlook on the web experience. So there you have it. There's a way of being able to pull together a collaborative meeting. Remember, the key points are that you're trying to have a meeting with 7 people or less so that people can interact. They've got an opportunity to be heard, and they've got an opportunity to connect and share their ideas. And we've also seen how we can schedule that meeting and making sure that the key people that we want along to this meeting are available and that we can set that time with them. In our next video, we're going to look at how to choose the right location and how we will do that also within our meeting organizing tools, making it clear to see where we're going to go to have that meeting. If you enjoy following me along with some of these modern workplace scenarios, tips and tricks, then do follow me on modernworkplacescenarios.com and also on this YouTube channel. Catch you again soon.